White Sox camp. You might be looking at us right now like, where's AJ? Oh, he's there. Don't worry. We'll bring him in very soon. We'll talk to Andrew Vaughn. We'll talk to Will Venable. Kratz, if you were at White Sox camp, first off, you'd probably be auditioning. So you're like, I'm just trying to make the team. No offense. We love you. But you're perfect for these combos. But also, as a vet, right? Like you were a late bloomer anyway, and people looked up to you. What would you say to the youngsters? Would you be like, yo, just be your best self, go into every day thinking you're going to win? What would be your personal speech to yourself and one that you would tell friends?
I wouldn't have to say it would just be eternal optimism. Like now I'm on another side of it, and that's different. But as a player, eternally optimistic. Like, look, boys, like we get to play in the show, and it's going to be friggin' awesome today.
All right, well, let's see if we can get our first guest of the day involved in this conversation. I'm being told that Corey Lee is ready to go from White Sox camp. If that is true, then we'll talk to him.
We'll see.
And we can ask him the same question. There he is. Corey Lee sitting down next to AJ Pierzynski. Corey, great to have you on the show. Thanks for the time. And
Absolutely.
How is camp? Yeah, of course. And how is camp? And obviously it's no secret this team lost a lot of games last year, but how do you push forward, and what is kind of the team motto when you're coming off a year like that?
Yeah, it's a new year of baseball. It's another opportunity for us just to learn as a group, to learn as an individual player. And like you said, a lot of ups and downs last year, but I think we have a really, really good group of strong-minded guys that come in here this year and get the job done. We've learned from our mistakes. We've talked about it. We've sat in meetings about it. Now it's just time to go do it. And I think it's a really, really good team to have on our side of things, and we're excited to get back to baseball now.
Where does it start?
It's just starting from the ground up. I think it starts with the communication coming from the coaching staff. I think we're really, really good at that point now. Will is really, really black and white. Walker's really, really black and white. And it's just knowing what you're going to get every single day. And obviously I know what I'm going to bring every single day. So it's also nice just to kind of get their perspective and know what they're going to bring every day for us. So
I'm a huge Walker McKinnon fan. What has he brought in this? What are we, like 2.5 weeks into spring training? What has he brought different that you didn't see last year here?
I just think the determination to win, just coming in here and really, really wanting to make an impact this year, not looking years down the road. I think we're looking forward to 2025 and just setting a new stone and setting a new standard for the Chicago White Sox game.
What has Will brought? What is Will as a new manager? You obviously played for Pedro last year. What's the difference? Forget the difference. What has Will brought? I want to hear about Will because he's the manager here now.
It's tough to get a read on him sometimes. Obviously, right now, early in camp, I think he's doing a really, really good job of just evaluating what he has. And then, obviously, I think it's going to be I can answer that question differently in season because I think he's going to open up more and be more vocal for us. But right now, really, really level-headed. You could talk to him about anything. He's communicative with us about what we're doing on the field, what we're doing in practice, and why it's important. I think that why aspect is really, really important on why we're doing this. What's it going to affect in the game? What's it going to affect in season? So just the transparency with the coaching staff right now is fantastic.
Do you and Andrew, because you guys we're going to dig into you and Andrew being roommates in a little bit. Do you and him go say, hey, we went to Cal. I know you're an Ivy Leaguer, but we're just as smart as you, Will.
No, I'm going to give him the credit there. The Princeton's really, really impressive, and I know Cal was extremely hard. But
wait, you went to class?
Oh yeah, as much as I could, as much as I could. But just the willingness to learn from him and. I the first conversation that I had with him was that I looked up to him when he was playing in San Diego, and just seeing the type of player that he was, and then seeing the type of person that he is now as a manager is incredible. So, someone to look up to, someone to hold you accountable, and just make you the best baseball player that you can be.
We're gonna hit on Cal real quick here because AJ's son and my son are both going to college to be a catcher. How much school did you actually go to during the season?
In season, tried to go as much as I could. That's going to be the answer there. obviously a lot of priorities junior year to make this a real-time job. I kind of had to sit down and realize, hey, this is what you're going to have to put into to make it to the big leagues or to get drafted. And I think that was kind of on my mind a lot of the junior year, and not over prioritizing baseball over athletics, because you still had to be eligible to go play. But it was just a whole mindset change of like, all right, this is what I'm going to do for my job. This is how I'm going to approach it in the next years, hopefully. And it paid off that way. So.
All right, who was a better roommate, you or Andrew Vaughn?
Vaughn was the clean one. He was the one to hold us accountable, to kind of keep us calm a little bit. But he was outstanding from freshman year, sophomore year. I moved out junior year, got a little bit better of a spot. But sophomore year, we were kind of in the slums in a nice Berkeley apartment, so that was fun.
All right, so he told us we're going to run this interview later. We talked to him earlier. He said that when you got traded, you had to tell him. He didn't know. So are you mad at him for not paying attention to what's happening and finding, hey, you having to call him? And he said you called him and said, oh, we're going to be teammates. And he was like, wait, what? What are you talking about?
I think he had a little bit of news before, and I don't think he could share it with me. I think they kind of did their research on me, obviously, coming over as a catcher. I think you need to do a little bit more homework on that. So I think they talked to him, and then, yeah, he was the first call. As soon as I got drafted, I said, hey, man, we get to be teammates again. And can't ask for a better teammate and a better person. And just kind of made me feel at home.
He's the vet, too.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the vet.
He's the
guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the guy that you look up to now, right? He was your roommate.
Yep.
He was cleaning up your stuff, and now you got to look up to him and respect him.
Yep. I obviously got to give him some credit. He's done a fantastic job ever since he's debuted, and he's had success that others can't even have in a couple years. So he's a smart guy to bounce ideas off of. He's a smart guy just to hang out with, and he's a really, really good person to have in our clubhouse.
Corey, I want to take you back to a moment last year from a fan perspective that I'm genuinely curious about. I can't hit a baseball, right? I'm a host. So at one point, I think it was in May, you guys were facing the Orioles. Bradish had a really strong start, and it was a couple managers ago, but Pedro Grifol said you guys were flat and it was unacceptable, the whole deal. Now that it's some time removed, can you take me more inside if that is really the case for a team, or if it's more like, hey, sometimes you're facing a number one or a number two starter. So I just wanted to get more insight on from the fan perspective, what that really means, because it didn't look like you guys weren't running the bases or, playing D or anything like that. It looked like you just had a sick outing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a catcher, so I see pitchers at their best a lot of the time. So I'm all in favor of giving pitchers some credit, obviously when they need it. And that day, dude, he had all his stuff. He was working hard. It's not like we weren't going up there with a good plan to try to execute. And it was just obviously tip cap one day, and he had a good job. And obviously after the fact on what was said, it was nothing bad. It was just the opinions that we have didn't fall with the opinions that he had. And I think you see it differently as a player, and you see it differently as a fan. You see it differently as a coach, and obviously as a manager. And I think it was communicated the wrong way, but at the same time, I think we see things a little bit different when we're out there in the box and when I'm behind the plate, obviously. So a little bit of miscommunication, but at the same time, you know what? They get paid too. They drive nice cars. They got nice houses, and sometimes they're on their A game that day.
How good is conflict? My opinion is conflict in the big leagues is really good, because it's people questioning other people, like, hey, keeping a standard and keeping each other accountable. Did you guys have good conflict last year?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we learned a lot from it. Everyone was on the same page in the locker room as players, and I think that's the most important thing that we can just carry out on the field. Everyone's communicating, everyone's holding each other accountable. Obviously, last year, a lot of up and down, and I think the group that we had now has learned from that, and we're able to pick that apart and go into this year with a healthy mindset, and we've learned from the failure, we've learned from success, and now we get to put it together for a 162 and have a great 162 this year.
What do you need to improve personally?
Got to improve on just catching. I think catching is the main aspect of this game, especially handling a pitching staff, handling 12, 13, 14, up to 20 pitchers in a year. Just knowing these guys, knowing the in and out, knowing how to communicate with them. I think that goes a big part in my game. I think I could talk to anybody. I think I can get through to a lot of people, but it's just the consistency matter of checking in with my pitching staff, knowing what they're doing, knowing what they're working on, knowing what their strengths are, knowing what they did in the previous start. If it was really, really good, just continuing to hammer that growth and just being a sponge, man. I think that's the biggest thing that you could be as a catcher is you're another staff of the coaching staff. You're a staff of the pitching staff. You're also a hitter. You're also an infielder. You're doing all these things, and I love doing it. That's part of my job. That's part of my daily routine is checking in with all these guys and making sure that we're all on the same page. And I'm kind of that bridge between everybody, and just continuing to be Corey.
Do you find other positions when you look at them, you're like, that seems like a boring position? All the stuff you just said is exactly what I loved about catching also. I sucked at hitting, so I guess that's why I had to love all that stuff. But, like, do you look at an outfielder who's, like, working on his swing in the middle of pitches and go, man, you guys must be bored this entire game?
Yeah, I can't do that. Whenever it's obviously spring training, but I'm like DHing, or if I'm coming under the back end and stuff.
Oh, you get to DH?
Oh yeah, I get to hit a little bit
Big
sometimes
time.
here, but yeah, just trying to get the ABs and just trying to stay locked into the game. But going off of just being in another position, I would not want my career to be any other way. Being a catcher is what I hold myself to. I hold myself to a really, really high standard. My brother was a catcher. I looked up to you as a catcher. I looked up to you as a catcher. It was just really, really cool to see the old style catching and just kind of converting it into this new era of the position. So credit to you guys for doing a great job before me.
You work on receiving with Walker. Does he help you with that stuff? He does?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we're hammering it out every day.
Just know everything he teaches you, I taught him. So essentially, it's me teaching you, but I don't have to go out to nasty, dirty Arizona. So make sure he knows I told you that.
I will relay that to him.
Who? I got to ask this because I don't know the answer to this. Who's going to be your other catcher this year?
That's up to them to make that decision. I'm still working for a job. I think we're all coming in here working for a job, and best person to win it. I think we're all doing our thing. We're all coming in with the same mindset, and we're a really, really young, healthy, strong, talented catching core. So it's a lot of good things to look forward to in the White Sox organization. We have a lot of catching depth. We have a lot of catching coaches. We're hammering the receiving right now. We're hammering the throwing, hammering the communication, and it's all the right things.
Are your fingers in a good place?
Oh yeah. All the pitch comms.
Yeah.
I'm getting a handle of it. We changed it up a little bit this year, and I think it's good for the game. It makes it a little bit easier. No one's stealing signs now. I don't got to worry about that. So we got a lot of good things going on the catching side.
Yeah, so you mean you don't sit back there and go, man, what? We just changed the signs. What are they again?
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to call timeout because you forget what you called.
I'm playing a video game now with on my knee, so it's a good time.
Have you guys ever in? I don't know, because you got all the catchers are they cover up their knee, right?
Yep.
Have you ever noticed that anyone you could see what button they press? And have you ever tried to figure it out?
I've tried to. Whenever I'm on the bench or whatever, I try to sneak in there. I try to pick the catcher all the time. I know what he's trying to do because I've done the same thing. But that's kind of my job whenever I'm not playing is to pick the catcher, pick the pitcher, pick the defense. All the defense has pitch comms in their ears, so if a slider's coming, they're all probably going to shift the other side because it's pull side, so you can see that, and just using the game to your advantage now. And I think it's going deeper now, and starting to see trends on the pitch comm stuff. So it's
smart.
Just, yeah, you're just trying to
Cal education right
don't
there.
Don't give me that much credit, but just trying to learn, just trying to be a sponge of this game.
We have an intern looking into this, but give me your over-under. The over-under is set at 11 and a half of pictures of AJ in your spring training site. The entire site, pictures of AJ, set at over or under 11 and a half.
I'm gonna go under. He's kind of hiding sometimes, so I don't see him too much. But I'll go on the under on that side of things. I don't see him in front of the camera too much.
There's one right there I know of. There's at least two right there that I know of. But he doesn't go to the minor league side. There's there's a couple, like, you got to kind of look in the bathrooms, and there's, in the urinals to find a couple of them. So he doesn't get down.
You didn't go to the minor league side either. Who are you talking to?
I went down there twice. I've been there twice already this week. It was my first time walking past the door. There's like a door that separates them, and I never went down there when I played. And then Monday I went down there to see some people, and then today I went down there to see some people. So I've been there twice now.
I could see AJ, talking to the minor leaguers like, hey, I don't know what the minor leagues is like for the White Sox. So, it's like.
I mean, I was like 5 years in when I came over. It wasn't like I was in AAA. It wasn't a quarter where I got traded over here. I came on my own. I was a free agent.
Yeah, I didn't get help in 5th grade because my dad's like, I skipped 5th, so I can't help you with this particular grade. I'm like, cool. Geez. Anyway, Corey, this was awesome. Thanks for the time, man. Good to see you. Good luck this year, okay?
I appreciate you guys. Keep on going.
Thank you. Corey Lee with us, White Sox catcher. Be right back, FT fam. Many more interviews from Sox camp. It's hungryroot.com/FT if you're hungry right now, and it's about lunchtime, depending on where you're at, maybe a little before it, but you might be looking in your fridge if you're working from home like, I feel like I should do better. Well, if you feel like you should do better, don't be hard on yourself, okay? Don't even go to the grocery store. Just go to Hungry Root like we do, and they'll be your personal shopper. There are a ton of different groceries to pick from, snacks, ready-to-eat meals, salad kits, supplements, kids snacks, no high fructose corn syrup, no artificial sweeteners, no preservatives. So it fits the vibe of what we're going for, Kratz.
The vibe, I don't know, but I do know if you go grocery shopping when you're hungry, you make bad choices. When someone else goes grocery shopping and they know what you should eat and what you like to eat, you don't make bad choices. So it kills two birds with one stone.
Yes. My breakfast today was very Hungry Root-ish. They even have these ready-to-drink smoothies that you get too. So I had one of those. I would show it to you, but it's already in recycling because I drank it and then I did my job. All right. So anyway, FT fam, you're going to love Hungry Root. We've been talking about it. The exclusive offer for you is 40% off your first box plus a free item in every box for life at hungryroot.com/FT. Use code FT. That's hungryroot.com/FT, code FT to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. Okay, so in about a minute, we'll come back. TV crowd will get this conversation too. There's been some news today, including the Rays not having a permanent home anymore that we thought was a thing. The ongoing saga.
Maybe the FU won't get bleeded out of the YouTube crowd that Stu Sternberg just gave to the Rays.
To the Rays, to the community, the whole deal.
Yeah.
It's a good old-fashioned negotiation going on right now, I will say. But we'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. We have a Will Venable, Andrew Vaughn conversations, maybe one or two others from White Sox camp. We also did that Clutch House show last night. We're doing it again tonight, 7:00 Eastern time. Meet us there. That'll include a conversation with Luis Severino, new Sacramento A. Yeah, so he'll be making his FT debut. We're looking forward to that. And we'll run a couple of those conversations from last night, including Gabriel Moreno, first time on FT, star. So we'll run that later. We are charging the mound, and the Tampa Bay Rays might need a name change soon. So we get the news officially from the press release, and AJ's dancing because this puts them one step closer to perhaps another city. But here's Brian Hoke saying the Rays announced they're not moving forward with a new ballpark in St. Petersburg. Hal Steinbrenner has said the Yankee spring training facility is only a one-year solution. Now, I did read the whole press release. It essentially said, hey, not working out with St. Pete. Clearly, they're still fighting about the money, and they're excited to get back into the Trop because that falls on St. Pete to put that together. Here is Dan, and I don't know how to say Dan's name, but he's a smart Fangraphs writer. On some level, you have to admire them for having the nerve to thank their fans for the support with a press release. That's a long-winded way of saying thank you, and it's not thank. So anyway, AJ, we get this news actually much earlier than expected. The deadline for them to come up with the money in the deal here with St. Petersburg was March 31st. We're weeks out. Do you think this means that something might change? We've had so much back and forth for 20 years with the Rays, for 20 years with the A's. MLB is waiting for this stuff to happen. The latest negotiation back and forth, essentially, I'm paraphrasing here on what's going on, is that you had a hurricane, it stalled things, it makes the project cost more, and the Rays don't want to foot the bill for the extra money. And St. Petersburg's like, this is it. We are not giving you any more public tax dollars.
Yeah, that, and I don't know that Sternberg has the money. He has to come up with, what, $700 million or some crazy number for half
Something
of the
in
stadium?
That range. Yep.
Or whatever it was. So, I mean, there's rumors also that they weren't sure that he had the money. So I think this is a combination of a lot. I don't think they're going to be back in St. Pete. You've already seen rumors of Manfred saying, hey, other owners saying, hey, we got to get a new ownership group in there to make things happen. And I think that's the most logical step next is Stu and his group of people have to sell to the highest bidder, and then they have to figure it out, because whether it's in Tampa, whether that's in Orlando, wherever it is, but they want to keep the team in Florida. They just don't know where it's going to be. Now, Tampa makes obviously the most sense because they already have a built-in fan base of being the Tampa Bay Rays. But if that can't, they've been trying to get a stadium there for 20 plus years and it hasn't worked out. But hey, there's a town not far down the street that it starts with an O and ends in an O, Orlando, that would welcome them gladly.
Do we think this is done? Like, does this press release really tell us the Rays and that
it's done with this
project
ownership group? It's done with this ownership group to me. I believe. I think this is the end of, because don't forget, the mayor of St. Pete already came out and said, we've done everything we can. We're at the end of our rope. It's time for them to do something, right? It's time for Sternberg and his group to do something. So I think, to me, the mayor jumped it and said, hey, I'm not going to be the mayor that loses the team, so I'm going to put the pressure on them. And then the Rays to come out and say, thank you for all your support and whatever. And then Brian Hoke saying it's only a one-year situation. And them saying, oh, we're not pursuing this. Because let's not forget, there's a lot of real estate people that had big plans for this area. I mean, it was across the street in the parking lot. They were looking at like a battery type of thing. So for them to come out and say it's not happening, it's a big blow to the city of St. Petersburg. But it's also a big blow to money people in the city of St. Pete in that area, because people had invested money in it. So that's why I think it's dead. I don't know. Can you revive it? Possibly. But I think it's time for them. They're going to have to figure out another situation.
Yeah. Kratz, a new ownership group can revive it if they take over and say, hey, we're going to honor that deal. But that's got to happen in the next few weeks. The team's not getting sold in 2.5 weeks.
No, not getting sold, and not like, you can't just find that kind of money. Like, it's hard to be like, I got $500 million, but where am I going to come up with the other $260 million to suffice what I need for the stadium? To me, I think it's a great job by the government, whoever I think the mayor made the decision, governor made the decision to stand firm. Like, no, we can't pay more. We've already committed a lot. And in this case, you own a business, you want to have it somewhere, you have to step up. And if he's not willing to step up, go ahead and move on, because this isn't just sell the Rays and that's it. Manfred's already drawn a line in the sand and said, if we don't get the situation with the A's and Rays taken care of first, we can't go to expansion. So now you have the head honcho saying, okay, we have to push this so that we can each get our $2 billion expansion fees for all the owners. It's a lot of money. $4 billion for 2 new expansion teams. It'll be under Manfred's legacy.
Yeah, there has to be a competition in order for MLB to get what it wants with public tax dollars, real estate, etc. Right? So just to explain this, let's say the top 2 contenders on the west side of the country are Portland and Salt Lake City, okay? And on the east side, it's one of the big cities in the Carolinas, right? Like what have we been talking about? Raleigh-Durham? Charlotte. Yeah, kind of
or
that
Nashville.
World. Or Nashville. You can't eliminate one of those top contenders, because then it takes leverage away, right? Because they're going to say, hey, for example, Portland, Salt Lake City, let's break down the finances. Which city is giving us the most money? Which city is giving us the most real estate? The best project around the stadium that includes owning everything possible to make this as lucrative as possible. That is what happens in this analysis when they're figuring out which team is going to get a new team, or which city is going to get a new team, AJ. So it can't just be one city. So anyway, that's why they want to keep that intact.
Don't forget Vegas. They already lost Vegas because that was one that was rumored for an expansion team. That's why the A's saying we're going to move to Vegas kind of put a hitch in their giddy up, so to speak, right? Because that was the one city where everyone's like, oh, Vegas is the place. They'll figure out how to get the money like the Golden Knights did. And the Vegas people were like, yes, we'll take an expansion team. We just don't want to use team like the A's. So that's why when the A's announced, oh, we're going to Vegas, then they're like, oh, man, who else can we come up with on the West Coast? Because you kind of got to do one East and West. That's where Salt Lake has kind of been bidding. Portland's kind of out there, right? And then you have Nashville and the Carolinas, whether it's Raleigh, Durham, or Charlotte. So that would put them in 4. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think that the fact that you have 2 teams playing in a minor league park this year is crazy to me. 2 major league teams are playing in minor league parks. That's insane to me. And also you got to figure out Tampa. You got to figure out when Vegas is finally done. And if you want to do expansion, I think it's a few years away because of all the other things going on. But you got to find the right fit for these teams because you don't want an expansion team going, let's say, to Portland. And I'm just using Portland or Salt Lake or wherever it is. And then 5 years from now say, no, this isn't viable. We can go to the other one that also bid. You don't want that. You want them to be established franchises for a long time.
Here's the thing that's crazy to me, AJ, is I get that there's a standoff when there are negotiations. And we just saw that in the dispute with the Orioles and the Nationals over their TV rights that finally got settled. And as Ken Rosenthal called it, the 100 Years War. We've essentially seen this now with the Rays and the A's. I mean, we're close to 2 decades of staring matches and projects that have not happened, right? This was signed, sealed, delivered. We did the whole press release. Let's talk about it. Spend a nice 15, 20 minutes on FT, how awesome this is going to be. They deserve a new park. The Trop is not pretty. I mean, this is 17 plus years now of working on this. So I do actually think, I agree with you, that at this point, you're not going to see this ownership group figure it out with St. Pete. I mean, they've made that quite clear. And the other side of the equation here is, will they actually sell and will they do it soon? Or will it get ugly with MLB and even the MLBPA? Because part of this whole equation is revenue sharing money. And it's estimated that the Rays get about $60 million per year in free money from the league to operate as a smaller market franchise. There are also other smaller market franchises that are pissed about it.
Hold up. I want to know why the Rays are considered small market. Explain that to me, because they're in the top, I think they're 12th in TV markets. They're 12th. They're not like Vegas is like, I think 40th or in the late 30s. Tampa Bay area is 12th in a TV market. So why are they considered small market?
Yeah, you're right. It looks like they're top 12. I mean, I'm on Wikipedia real quick for TV markets right now, and it looks like Tampa St. Pete is number 11, and the Bay Area is number 10. And the A's obviously had been getting all that kind of money for a long time.
What's funny is the A's didn't get that money. That's why when they moved to Sacramento, they did get the money because that's why they had to spend the money, right? Yep. It's like Miami. Why is Miami not spending the money? Miami's like top 10 markets.
No, they're listed as 18, so they're a little bit lower.
Okay. So they're 18. So they're smaller than Tampa. Okay.
Yeah.
But Miami's been getting money and they're not spending it. So why are they getting a pass, right? That's why I think this is so frustrating and confusing to people, is because nobody really knows who gets what money. No one's really coming out and saying, oh, well, Pittsburgh gets money, or this. Why would Tampa get money? They're 11th in TV size. Isn't that supposed to be a big market?
Yeah. What about the people that say, hey, Florida doesn't care, they can't support baseball?
I disagree.
I disagree too.
I disagree. You put the stadium in the right place. You do the right thing. You build up the area around it. I mean, listen, Miami has a great new giant stadium. They put it in a bad spot. Say what you want about where the Dolphins play in Lauderdale, but you can draw from Palm Beach, Boca, Lauderdale, and Miami. In Miami, nobody from Lauderdale and north is going to drive down to Miami to a stadium that, quite frankly, isn't easy to get to. There's really bad parking, and it's not. I mean, listen, it ain't in the greatest area, okay? I mean, you remember where the old Orange Bowl was, Scott? You went to the University of Miami.
I worked at the old Orange Bowl, yeah.
I mean, and I don't mean that rudely at all, but it just isn't in a great spot. And then you take Tampa, nobody from Tampa East, Orlando-ish, and even you throw Sarasota and them in there. Not a lot of people want to go over the giant bridge, the Sunshine Causeway, which is the huge bridge, and nobody wants to go over one of the other bridges from Tampa because they always get backed up, and it could take you 30 minutes, it could take you 3 hours. You just never know, and it's just a pain. Yes, they've done a lot to spruce up St. Pete, but there's not a ton around the ballpark, so you have to go into St. Pete. It's just, if you build it in the right place, people will come. I promise you. Look at the Rays TV ratings. They're great. Attendance, not so great because of the ballpark.
Well, just because we're Florida residents, and obviously you're Mr. Orlando, but you know the state really well. I've seen comments on clips when we talked about this topic, and some people have said, well, there would be plenty of traffic issues in Tampa, and it's not like Orlando is a breeze with traffic either compared to many other spots. What's your response to that? Like, if it does end up in one of those places, will it be easier?
It depends, again, where they put it. Now, there's main thoroughfares in both of those spots, right? If in Tampa, where some of the projected stadiums have gone. But again, if you build up the area around it and make it a destination like they did in the Battery, because guess what they said about the Battery in Atlanta? Oh, it's traffic. There's da-da-da-da-da. People go there all the time. We've seen how much money the Braves have made off the Truist Park since they put it in, right? Look at St. Louis with Ballpark Village. There's not much around there, meaning highways and traffic and all that. But guess what? People go because there's a bunch around it. That's the key. You have to be able to put it in, put something around it. I know some of the places they've talked about in Orlando, there's multiple major highways. They've talked about putting a train station in there on the light rail so people can get in from Tampa and Miami and everywhere else to come to games. And in Tampa, you'd have to do the same thing. You just have to make it a spot where it's not just a ballpark. It has to have other things around it so people can get there at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, go have dinner, then go to the game. It's a day game. You can go have lunch, stay after, have dinner after the game. Right? So it's not just in and out. It has to be something where it's a destination with other things to do besides just the baseball. Yes, the baseball would be the main attraction, but you have to be able to have concerts there that people want to go to. You have to be able to have hotels, apartments, whatever it is, you have to have that, other attractions. That's how you make it a destination.
Yeah, restaurants, bars, right. In Atlanta, and not Atlanta, Cobb County, where the Braves play, I mean, that's its own community with great food, great drinks, the whole deal. And let me tell you, I've been there plenty of times, including for the World Series. It ain't easy to get out of the ballpark right after the game. So what happens? It's a party in that area, and you just plan accordingly. In Florida, you could do the same thing, like AJ mentions. It just has not been drawn up correctly. And right now, there's just a money battle that looks like it finally hit a stalemate where the city's like, or St. Pete's like, hey, we're done. This is what we agreed to. We're not paying anymore. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I would imagine.
Eric, cover your eyes. Eric, cover your eyes. Just cover your eyes. There they go, Eric. Cover your eyes. Ah.
Who is it?
You know what's great about a drug tester? They can be pissed off every day, but never pissed on.
Great point. Great point.
Wow, I've never seen the drug testers.
They just walk by.
They just made an appearance. That's cool.
CDT.
Every
big league drug testers.
Every camp
not minor league.
I love this show so much. FT fam, we'll be right back with White Sox manager Will Venable.
What does it need to happen for you guys to get to the postseason and make a deep run?
Well, everyone not having down years the entire season would definitely help, which I don't see happening. We're playing a little bit more this spring. Guys are getting more action. Dan's bringing in like a little bit more of an old school vibe, and we're getting everybody ready. Not really, not trying to just a little bit. Get everyone more ready, get the at-bats underneath us. That way we don't have like a slow start because, over 162 games, sometimes we forget about the game in April that we should have won. And we harp on the last couple that we lost to lose it.
I know that you guys, as AJ mentioned, unbelievably good starting staff. George Kirby has a little bit of inflammation right now, dealing with that. You're ill afford to lose him, but you got to make that up in other ways. I know you feel like you have the guys to do it, but position player-wise and lengthening that lineup, you had mentioned everybody has to have not a down year. Mm-hmm. What are the conversations like? I mean, it'd be nice if you could just flip a switch, obviously, Dylan, and say, all right, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. But what has the mindset and conversations been like in spring moving forward?
I think we've talked to each other more as teammates instead of just talking to the coaches down to us. We've kind of conferred more with each other with what we've had success with, what we haven't had success with. The rookies or the younger guys are asking more questions to the older guys, and we're having thoughts and conversations. I think about Mitch Haniger and all of the success that he's had, and he's really good at voicing his opinion and being real clear about what he wants when he's at the bat. Julio's been great. All these guys have been great. We have a good mixture of communication with, because every player is different in how they are successful. It's such an individual game, individualized game. So you can pick up different stuff from different people. And I think that we're trying to keep it as a whole. We're just keeping it a little bit more simple, staying through the middle of the field, and just squaring the ball up and hitting the ball hard.
That's Dylan Moore, Seattle Mariners super utility player. Actually, Gold Glover Dylan Moore, who flashes some Gold Gloves now, or one, but many gloves that he brings to the ballpark, because I think he's played everything, but maybe he's even pitched in a game. I think he hasn't caught, and that's it. Anyway, Clutch House is the spot. It's those like really high quality conversations. It looks real clear and crisp. It's in a beautiful setting. So we've got AJ and Alana taking that over again tonight for a couple hours, including Luis Severino. Check that out live on the YouTube channel. Be right back with Will Venable. All right, we've got new White Sox skipper Will Venable with us right now. So, Will, I'm going to get right to AJ's favorite question in camp. What was the speech to the boys?
The speech to the boys, it wasn't really motivational at all. We just went through some of the clubhouse expectations, some of the expectations for out on the field, and then just talk through how we're going to use spring training to prepare for the season.
Did you have a notepad?
I did have a notepad.
Is that because you remember all the new names that you had to introduce of everybody, or for your speech?
That was for the speech. We didn't do the traditional intros, man. We tried to get in and out of there. I think between all the things we had to do, it was about 13 minutes. So wanted to be.
Dude, you went to the Ivy League, bro. Don't they teach you to speak without the notepad?
Oh, I had to make sure, man.
Okay.
All right. I had to make sure I didn't mess this one up.
You got one shot, right?
That's right.
What are some of those expectations that you can share with us that you're changing, or just what you're bringing in?
Yeah, we talked about just little stuff, just like what we're going to wear on the field, how we're going to spend our time, our expectations in the clubhouse for how we're going to treat each other and the clubhouse staff, and then just start talking about our vision for winning, and the different things on a baseball field that we know contribute to winning baseball.
Did you come up with these on your own, or is it all just regurgitated from all your different stops?
Yeah, I mean, you pick and choose the important things, the things that help winning and help having the kind of culture that you want to have. So yeah, it's definitely stealing things along the way, and also collaborating with our staff now, understanding our group and who we have, and the things that are important to the Chicago White Sox.
Where do you start? I mean that in 121 losses last year. Where do you start? Like what's the number one thing that you want to see from day one of camp to opening day to the end of game 162 for you guys?
Well, certainly going out there and competing and playing hard every day. But for us, starting, it's about creating an environment where these guys are happy to come to every day, and that we have a positive environment, that we're supporting our guys to be at our best, and that also that we're focusing on the things that we know make a difference in winning baseball. And that's kind of a process where we're highlighting those things, we're presenting them to players, and then we're going out and training it, and then ultimately holding them accountable to those things as well.
It's weird because Bob Beckdahl told me that the mood in camp is much worse this year than it was last year. So I don't know. I find that hard to believe, because I see you smiling and I walk in there and everyone's smiling and happy. And so is Bob just wrong?
Bob, you know what? Bob's got his opinions. It must have been a really good camp for Bob last year. Felt like it was going good for Bob, but he might need to come to the office and have a conversation about
yes,
it.
please send him down.
Yeah, we can do that.
By the way, an international show, It's White Sox PR for everyone that is unaware of Bob. He's a legend, and they're kidding. But anyway, Will, give me some names. Maybe not, actually. AJ's not. We are. Will, give me some names. Who should we be watching the next couple weeks in camp? And obviously, that could spill into the season where we're like, hey, this is going to be a guy for the White Sox for the next, 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, well, starts with Miguel Vargas. He's going to be a really important piece for us. You'll see him a lot at third base, maybe some first base. But, a young guy that, has broken through the league, but really hasn't had that opportunity to establish himself yet. And we really believe in him and his abilities, and just, going to give him a runway. So he's somebody to watch for sure. Chase Mydroth is another guy we got in the Crochet trade. We'll see how it shakes up as far as opening day stuff, but he's somebody that we know is going to help at some point, and is a really dynamic player. Really good at bats, a really good approach, and just a fun guy to watch play baseball.
As you guys are building this team from, kind of a groundwork approach, is it more important as an organization to develop super versatile players? Like, you even talked about Miguel Vargas and be like, he's going to play third and maybe some first. There's been an era that's kind of lost where teams are like, hey, this is our shortstop. This is our third baseman. Do you guys want to build a team of versatility and then you just have to do all the mixing and matching? Or do you want like dudes to solidify Miguel Vargas as a third baseman for the White Sox for the next 10 years?
Yeah, probably a little bit of both. I think to win a baseball game, you have to depend on guys playing different positions, and you love that versatility. At the same time, probably a lot of value in developing a guy to be your cornerstone third baseman, and there's certainly value to that. So, in a perfect world, you have everyday guys that are out there and can play 162 games. But until you get there, having defensive versatility and guys who you can mix and match is really impactful.
Another young guy in camp that hit a very famous home run, something I've never seen, the Kyle Teal home run against Roki Sasaki. I'm assuming you saw the video, they sent it to you, it made you smile. I've never seen another organization, I know you guys share the fields, come and take live at-bats against another team's pitchers or another team's hitters.
Yeah, that's a first for me too. It worked out.
Good.
That where there wasn't a full B game, where they didn't have the position players and we didn't have the pitchers, but there was a need to provide some hitters, and we had some hitters that need some at bats. So yeah, it worked out. Never seen it before either, but it was good, and we had a good experience over there.
What's Will Venable's style? What's your style for the White Sox that you want to see? Because, I played for Ozzie and I played for Robin when I was here, and I played for different managers, and you've played and worked under different managers. Ozzie was more of I want to contact with some home runs and I want to put pressure and bunt and run and all that stuff. And then I played for some guys that were like, let's just see you guys hit it over the fence. So what is your ideal? And I know you're going to say we want both, but do you lean more towards one way or the other?
I think naturally, just the kind of player I was and the teams that I played on, being able to pressure the defense, being able to play defense, to pitch well. Obviously, we know that leads to wins. But I do like to do stuff. I was an aggressive base runner, and I appreciate hitting runs and bunts and doing all those things. And ultimately, it's my job to figure out, what our group, is going to need to do to win a game, right? And that can look different ways on different days. And so, I think our style is going to change, and I think it has to find whatever we have to do to win a game that day.
Are you the first straight build manager that we've ever seen in the big leagues? Because you're rocking the straight bill, and I know that's your style. I don't know. I can't recall a manager that's done it. Skip Schumacher, little SoCal boy, might have tried it, but it never is that straight. Are you the first?
I don't know if I'm the first. Someone mentioned that the other day. I really haven't thought about it. It's just, I put a hat on and never thought about bending it. But yeah, if I'm the first, hey, we'll take it.
What's a successful year for you this year?
Yeah, I think we have to, you have to win games, right? You have to continue to win and, create momentum for this organization, and that's important in wins and losses. I also think, there's a ton of things internally that we're going to be building that, we want to accomplish to make sure that we have success in the long term and the short term. And then we have to develop our players. That's something that, we're going to be judged on too. So there's going to be a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of factors.
As a White Sox fan and the White Sox fans watching and listening to this, what's a realistic timeline for competitive? I know you're going to say we want to be competitive this year, but I'm talking competitive for a playoff run. Is it 26, 27? Where in your mind, in an ideal world, if all these prospects work out, what is the year that you say, man, like we can really go?
Yeah, I mean, soon. I know that's not an answer, but I think like focusing on the present and the things that we have to do foundationally to build here. That's where the focus is, and however long that process takes, it takes. And I know that, the city, these fans and this organization, deserves a winner, and that's on the horizon. We just have to, grind and build to get there.
Will, we're rooting for you.
Have you been warned about AJ? When you came in, were you warned that AJ Pierzynski is bad news?
I did not get that warning. No.
Okay. Be warned now.
We've known each other for a long time, Kratzy. It's not like we just met today. It's like we just met today.
Different. This is different now. It doesn't matter. You already took a shot at Bob, so I'm just saying.
He's not going to apologize for being the White Sox #1 fan. That's just who he is. Will, thank you. Really appreciate it. We're rooting for you. We'll see you during the season.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, FT fam. We'll be right back. Hey, we love Arena Club with slab packs. They make it possible for you to score gem mints for a fraction of the retail price. That's what slab packs are all about. If you're like, yo, there's a crazy card, but I'm not dropping, $20,000 to try and buy it because that's insane and unrealistic since I don't have enough money. But do you have, $50 to put in for a slab pack and see what happens? And obviously, even if you don't like what you've got, instant offer, 90% of the estimated value, where you can sell it right back to Arena Club. But after you get them, AJ, you've seen the experience, goes in the vault in your showroom. You can trade, you can sell, you can keep. Like Matt Strom told us the other day, he's like, this card has even more value because I'm not getting rid of it. My wife already knows the Gunnar Henderson 1/1 ain't going anywhere.
Agreed. And I was in the Rangers clubhouse yesterday, and some of the guys in there, Dane Dunning, and was ripping a box of cards right in front of me. And I was like, hey, have you guys heard of Arena Club? And he says, well, what's that? And then I showed him. He's like, whoa, that's way cool. They grade it right away. You can buy and sell right there on it. He's like, I'm going to have to look into that. So, yeah, it is really cool. Even guys that are super into cards love this website and the way they do it. So, listen, for someone that's not deep into cards, I mean, if I can get cards and not have to mess with sending it in and waiting 3 weeks for it to be graded and put it in the little plastic thing and then getting the sticker on it already does it for me, check.
Yes, Derek Jeter's part of the group that started this. So you can look up more about the company. It's a really interesting story. But anyway, 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/foul. Use code FOUL. That's arenaclub.com/foul. Code FOUL for 20% off your first purchase. And while we have a quick minute here, the Dodgers and the Cubs are taking over Japan. Obviously, the Dodgers are more popular in Japan than the Cubs. The Cubs have Shota Imanaga, who's an awesome personality, Kratz, but apparently there are hundreds of thousands of people that are checking in and greeting this team wherever they go. So
sit right here for 1 second while we're in commercial.
They're superstars.
Here's some photos.
By the way, hold on. No one cares about the Dodgers. This guy's way more important than the Dodgers. Let's go to the other camera. Oh, look at this. Freddie. Nobody cares. Doc. This guy right here. Smile, Eddie. This is Eddie Casson, director of team travel. All the times he never messed up my tickets, only like 200 to 300 times.
We can't hear him. What did he say?
He said he did his best. This guy right here is a freaking legend. They talk about legends, and Kratz will tell you this guy's a legend.
Yo, shout out to our team, absolutely hustling out in Arizona. We're doing 2 shows a day. We hit the camps, and then at night we do these Clutch House conversations. So Clutch is an agency in MLB, and they put an activation together. So we were like, hey, can we swing by and talk to your players? So it's been really cool. Part of the inspiration here is that we see other shows in the basketball and football space do this, where they'll go to camps for football, or they'll sit down at a home of a basketball player and it looks all fancy and high quality and they get like a good 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is. So we're doing that here. We did that last night with a few notable names. So we're going to show one conversation now, then we'll talk about it. Gabriel Moreno, in my mind, stole the show last night with the outfit and the words. So here's 5 minutes from it.
What'd you think when you got traded? Because I know Toronto fans that say that was one of their worst trades they've ever made. Nothing against Dalton Varsho, but they got you, Gold Glover, and they got Gurriel, who's a very, unbelievable player and hitter, big clutch hitter. So what'd you think when you got traded?
I always think like when they called me, like was December 23. I thought Rosansky called me for giving the Merry Christmas, because that was my for sure. That was my first time in the
States.
In the big league, and I thought he's gonna give me that, and he told me, "Hey, you are in for trade, so to Diamondbacks," and I say, "Wow." And he believed me, but like he just traded me. He believed me, he just traded me. Like, but it's good.
It's okay, it worked out.
Yeah, and the Divas give me the opportunity to be behind the play every day, and that's what I'm so happy for this thing. And I feel like I'm at home. I feel like I'm at home and all this stuff. And with Gurriel, like that's my teammate. Like I'll be with him everywhere he go. I go with him, and that's a good part in this.
Halo.
Yeah.
What color?
He had purple. With green last year. He say he's will change for another color, but like, I don't know what color it's gonna be. But yeah, we had my teammate like Corbin Carroll, Ale Thomas, everybody, Ketel, Domo. They give you the welcome to the team, and they are good player. They're good person. Like. They give you the confidence to be like a home, and that's the key for where we are now.
It's awesome. I'm so what a run that you've already had. Just growing up in Venezuela, obviously wanting to get to the big leagues, signing as an infielder, and already a Gold Glove, and you're young in your career, and that's pretty awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time.
Hold on, before we go, you got to ask him about the Dodgers. Come on, the last team to beat the Dodgers, he was behind the plate.
I know.
In the playoffs.
I know.
She's a Dodger.
I know.
Yeah.
I see his face.
Thanks for that. Now that's awesome. Honestly, like you guys, nobody, with the exception of you, everybody believed that the Dodgers were going to win that series, right?
Yeah.
And you proved everybody wrong. How much satisfaction was there in that?
Yeah. Wow. Remember that moment? Like, got me crazy. Yeah, because I hit a homer against Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And yeah, I'm gonna always remember that homer. I had a good photo for putting my walk, and hang when he threw the ball was like this, and I was flipping the bat. That was the best photo I'm gonna have, and good. I think beating those 3 games. I think beating the first 2 games in the Dodger Stadium, that was amazing. We did a pretty good job. Everybody was focused to doing the job, and they did it.
And how about the 4 home runs in 1 inning?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
See how she changed the subject from Dodgers? See, she changed the subject.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to talk about Dodgers this year. Right?
Oh,
now
yeah.
you guys are not afraid of the Dodgers this year.
They're not.
Yeah,
They shouldn't be.
yeah.
You have a great team. You have an unbelievable starting rotation.
You guys have
too.
the best one of the best starting rotations, if not the best, right?
Yeah.
And every day. You.
Yep. I believe our rotation, and I think we're gonna win a lot of games.
You have a great rotation.
Yeah, we're gonna win a lot of games. Just stay healthy first and play baseball.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite one to catch?
Ooh,
Zach, because you got Zach, you got Merrill, right? Now you have Corbin.
Corbin.
You can say Corbin. Patakaye,
oh
right?
yeah,
Right? Monty.
yeah.
Who else? Brandon Fott.
I think my favorite catch. I just
Say all of them.
oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Like I just got 2 spring training games. Corbin Burns, I love him. Bob Gallen, Merrill, and all the pitchers. Like I know how they pitch. I love everybody. We had a top 5 all-star rotation, and everybody. I know everybody's good. I can say one.
That's a perfect way to answer. Good job.
Yeah.
We appreciate you taking the time. Best of luck.
They're gonna be good.
No, I know.
we talked about the A's being good.
I know.
We were at your camp yesterday. You guys are gonna be good.
Yeah.
Good.
Stay healthy and good luck. Why did you shower full uni after a bad game or a slump or whatever?
You got to get that stuff off. There's something in the jersey. You got to get it off.
Quickly, like just wash it off. Shower it off. You like took it very seriously.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to get it off. You got to get rid of it.
Whatever's in Oakland, did you?
No.
I was going to
say,
I'd be careful.
Tony Kemp did it frequently.
Did he?
Yeah. If it wasn't normally a personal thing. If we had lost a couple games in a row, into the showers with the jersey on.
Really?
Yeah. Whatever's going on, you got to get it off. And you don't want to go to bed thinking about it. So just do it now and get it over with.
Did you guys hit that? We're back live, by the way, for 2 minutes, and then we'll bring the TV crowd back in. But I had read that story about Seth Brown. Is that normal, AJ? You just wash your SARS away in your uniform?
I said different things. I would, if I was in a bad one, I'd just start over with everything. I'd get new everything. So it just depends. Everybody kind of has their thing. I'd go into the equipment guy and like, we need to burn all of this. So I just need new everything. And they'd say, okay. We just start over from socks to jockstrap to undershirt to shoes to catcher's gear to hat to everything. I just start over. Actually, I never changed my hat. I only used one hat all year. So, but it had to be a bad one for me to do that. But yeah, guys are weird. And by the way, let me say this: Gabby Moreno. I know we just ran his thing. One of the most impressive things I've ever seen because he did that. He did almost that entire interview in English. And we talked to him, and Alana speaks Spanish, and she said, before the interview, hey, we can go Spanish, we can go English. He's like, no, I want to do my English. And you could tell he was nervous. He was kind of doing this, but his outfit, unbelievable. I'd love to see Kratz in that outfit.
I'll rock it. Talk about getting rid of everything. Normally when guys get rid of stuff, they're like, get rid of it, donate it. Some dude was just throwing it all in the trash. I forget who it was. It was in minor leagues. And somebody's like, dude, you can donate that. I'm sure there's people that want to wear that. He goes, I wouldn't give those cleats to anybody. Nobody at a thrift store needs to go 0 for 16. It was hilarious.
That's good. Well, yes, I agree. Hey, on our YouTube channel right now, there's the entire show from last night, which includes the last 15 minutes or so with Gabriel Moreno. That's the good stuff right there. So make sure you check that out. All right, we're coming back to go over better than box scores, which includes an interesting situation from our show yesterday.
Hey, your spot was taken today. I'm mad. I'm not here tomorrow. How come I don't have a spot? Why did I come just to park?
All right, here we go. Better than box scores. So I'm
It's a long
scrolling
walk to
through.
Oakland tomorrow, wherever they play. Sorry, Jerry. Jerry's walking by, and I asked him why he took my parking spot that said Reinsdorf on it.
What did he say?
He said, you can park there tomorrow when I'm not here. I'm like, you have two. And he said, they're both taken.
That's good. That's good. You're allowed to stop to tell us about your conversations with White Sox ownership. We're good with that. That's why you're there. We sent you out there for this inside info.
Yeah. I did park in his, when we were at Dodgers camp on Monday, I did come over here and I knew he wasn't here. So I did park in his spot and took a picture and sent it to him. And he said, wow, I'm surprised they remember who I am. And I'm like, you're on the team, dude.
I have no idea what he looks like. So I'm glad you're there and not me.
You don't know what he looks like? You don't know what Jerry looks like? Really?
Really?
If you saw him, I think you would. You remember when they won all the Bulls championships and the White Sox championships? He looks the same, but a little bit older.
I remember that guy.
Yeah. Same guy.
That's the guy.
They haven't replaced him. It's the same dude.
Yeah,
yes. All right. So let's get to better than box scores, because I'm scrolling through the news sites, ESPN, CBS, etc., right, where you're just looking at sports news, and I see something about Bruce Bochy in the Phantom IL, and I'm like, is this from our show yesterday? So I click on the article, and it indeed is. There was some fan, especially Mets fan, feedback on a quote from Bruce Bochy on our show yesterday. So here's one of the headlines in CBS. Rangers plan to keep deGrom fresh, could include using the IL to skip starts. So Boch just was casually talking about how
did he say that?
Yeah, I dug up the quote, and at one point, like, I'll just read it real quick because it's not that long, but he said, we're going to have him at the back end of the rotation of the season. So when he goes in there, we have those days off. So for his first 5 starts, he'll have that extra day off. We'll just try to watch his workload. He's a key for our success. We know it. We got to take care of him, try to get as many starts as we can. Now, during the season, if we have to skip a start or put him on the IL to miss a couple starts to keep him fresh, we'll do that. To me, this is the essence of how this works and how casual it is in our sport, which we've told everyone about for the first 2+ years of this show, AJ, and how it's so casual that we just keep going in conversation, but part of the world stops like, oh, didn't Billy Epler get in trouble for this with the Mets?
Dude, first of all, Jacob deGrom's coming off Tommy John, so every team on earth will find a way to limit his innings, and the Rangers would rather have him healthy at the end of the year when they believe they're going to be playing for a postseason berth and have him into the playoffs in the World Series. So this was not news to me. Every team does this with guys that are coming off surgeries and injuries and whatever it is, and pitchers in general. I mean, gosh, dog. I remember back in 2005, we used to have to skip El Duque because he was older, and we wanted Brandon McCarthy to come up and start. And so we had El Duque in the postseason, which he had one of the biggest postseason innings of all time. So, listen, this shouldn't be a story. I think this is ludicrous that we're making this into a story. But, I mean, come on. He's not talking roster manipulation. He's talking about trying to keep a guy healthy. That's what the IL is for, to try to keep a guy healthy long-term for his team.
I don't know if that's what the IL is for, because Billy Epler got a 6-month vacation for it. Lost his job. Like, there has to be some type of stipulation, because you can't just say, well, we're going to punish the team for having a player who's recovering from an injury. Isn't this the epidemic of baseball? Is just all these injuries and reoccurring injuries? So let's try to curtail it here. Let's make sure we have some caveat in here, because teams abuse this. This is not a case of abusing it by the Rangers and Jacob deGrom. This is a case that this is how it should be used. Other teams abuse it to manipulate the amount of people that they can have on their big league roster.
Amen. That is correct. And we're not, just for the record, making a story out of this. National headlines were making a story out of this, alluding to our conversation yesterday. So I felt like we had to double down on it and explain what's going on. Not defending anything. I more just feel like part of the obligation of our show with you guys is to just give people a peek behind the curtain to say, no big deal.
I got put on the Phantom IL as Bochy was my manager. Bochy was my manager when I was on that team. Like, they were like, we need a third catcher. We don't have a spot for a third catcher.
Boom. There you go. And Boch doesn't give a crap. He's like, yo, I got too much dirt in my cleats, too many rings on my hand to really worry about this stuff. All right, FT fam, we'll swing back in a moment and get a little Andrew Vaughn conversation going. Also, word is we're going to talk to Davis Martin soon too. BetMGM futures, what do we like with the AL West? I want to keep reminding people we'll do official predictions when we get closer to the season, but we're looking for value here. Houston listed at plus 160, Texas plus 200, Seattle plus 225, the ATH is at plus 2200, and the Angels are expected to finish in last place by BetMGM odds at plus 2800. What do you like here, AJ?
ATHs. Are you kidding me? If you watched the show from Clutch last night, we had Seth Brown and Gunnar Hoagland on, and I was like, I love the A's. So, yes, I think plus 2,200. I think they're young, they're hungry. They made some nice additions. I think another year of Lawrence Law Dog, as you guys call him, in there. I think Langoliers will take another step. Rooker's back for another year. I think I love what they did. They got Springs from Tampa Bay. I love what Oakland did, and I think they're going to be excited. They're going to get to play in front of a bunch of people in a packed house almost every game. Kotze got an extension. I mean, plus 2,200. Are you kidding me? I mean, that seems like this is one of the easier bets, because if you throw money down, you win. But that's the one where you can make a lot of money off of. And you know me, guys, when we get into the locks of the day, I'm going for the big home runs. I'm not going for the Kratz and the Scott Braun, minus 105 to win 100. I'm looking for the plus 300-400.
That's fair. I appreciate that. I was a plus man all year last year, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. You roll your dice. That's what you do. I wish the Mariners were like at plus 410, 420, giggity. But they're not. So I'm taking the Rangers. I think it's going to be a close race the whole season. I really do. I don't think anybody's running away with this division.
I don't think it would be crazy to see the A's win the division this year. I really don't. So I'm with AJ. If you're looking for value and you buy that, you want to put a little that way. I mean, look at the return you're getting. I do not think that's crazy. Angels, that's crazy, right? The difference between those two is not enough for you to be like, oh, I think the Angels are going to win the division, because that ain't happening. Anyway, bonus code FOUL if you want to place up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet when you sign up and deposit at least $10 into a BetMGM sportsbook account, a new account on the app or at betmgm.com. And if you lose that first wager, you can get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. Depends on how much you place, of course. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Be right back. Sounds like Davis Martin coming soon to join us.
All right, good to see you. Nice, AJ. Nice to see you.
Davis Martin's going to join us in a moment. We'll just take a quick look at the Nashville Stars potential MLB expansion team revealing their logo and their hat. The Music City Baseball Group put this out there. Black and white.
I need it. I need it. Like, that's a rare hat. New era. If you're listening, don't listen to Fair Territory this week, but listen to me. I need that. I need both of those. A white and a black hat. That's sharp. I like the logo too.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm a fan. It's a classic look for Nashville. We'll see if they get a team, of course. Oh, AJ said it's mid. He's not a huge fan, which is interesting coming from someone who did wear a lot of black and white, of course.
He just doesn't like them stealing their style. It's okay. I like it.
I love black and white. Those are probably
can't wait to see what Orlando does.
And gray.
Like a nice O in the middle of the hat with like two little O's on top of all their jerseys. You see what I'm doing here?
I know that Disney would consider it competition, but come on, they have to have some involvement if there's an Orlando team.
It's not competition. Everybody needs a break from the park. The games are 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
Give people some AC. Give them a seat. Give your kids a place to take a nap so they're not crying at 4:36 every day walking down the streets of Disney.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's a compliment to the park. It's not competition to the park. I mean, most of the fams with their kiddos get out of there by probably 5 or 6 o'clock anyway. Maybe even get a little babysitter action. You get the mom and dad date and you get to hit the ballpark. And then the club right after that. Nah, just kidding. But anyway, it sounds like we're ready. Yes, we are. Davis Martin is ready to go, sitting next to AJ right now. Davis, great to have you on the show. Did you just throw a bullpen?
No, I just threw a game, actually.
You just threw a game. No big deal.
Yeah,
how'd it go?
Well, I mean, give us some insight here. Like, give us a box score, punchies.
No walks. I think 5 or 6 Ks, no hits, 3 innings, 1+. It's against the Asian Breeze, so let's
didn't they play in the Caribbean World Series this year?
I have no idea. Kat sat next to me, and he's like, all right, let's go. I was like, you about to give me a scouting report? He goes, oh, no. We have no idea who these people are.
So did you just blow heaters by him? What was the
slider changeup, baby?
Ah, okay.
Just the four seams, the jab pitch, just for show these days.
So you're breaking them off.
Yeah, breaking it off, sinker, cutter, straight ones.
You couldn't pitch in the A game today because it was supposed to rain. All right, Scott Merkin gave us the wrong weather report in his non-matching outfit standing over there. So, what's it like? Were you like, man, I want to pitch in the A game instead? I got the breeze.
For sure. I mean, I think I told somebody we had the Dodgers game, went really well. We had a B game last week, and then we had another kind of adjustment, late flight. I just tried my best to try to adjust and be like, this is like in season. Like, you have a really good outing against a really good team, and then you go play team X and Y that maybe not so good. Like, you need to lock in for those two.
Get your confidence up.
I know. Hey, exactly. No, that's exactly what it's been. So yeah, it was a good day.
Are you? I'm going to ask this, and I don't know the answer to this. And I just want to hear your answer. Are you the opening day starter?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Have they said anything to you? Because it would be between you, Martine, I guess, and Jonathan Cannon.
Yep.
But have you played? Because I know you used to kind of play the days out. You look at a calendar, and it kind of is that where it lines up?
I don't think so right now, actually.
Really?
I don't know.
Because we saw with the Yankees when Cole went down, they're like, well, we can't adjust Max Fried today to get him to be opening day.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to do the counting the other day, and I got confused, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go throw tomorrow and just follow in the routine and see where we stay. So, yeah. No, it'd be awesome. But I think, Martin has 13 years of experience, and that has to count for something. And he's the leader of the staff. So, yeah, I mean, whoever it is, we're going to have to go out there and follow whoever it is for 162 games. So
does that matter to you at this point in your career? Would that mean as much as you think it should mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think an opening day starter for a Major League Baseball team, regardless of the situation you're in, the team's in, that's an honor. I think that's an honor because you're the number one guy in that staff, and guys look at you to succeed, and guys look at you for confidence. And like I've said, I've got to see Dylan Cease in his prime as the opening day guy, and I got to see Garrett Crochet and that kind of presence that they keep in the locker room and they keep on the field. Like, it's something that it's exciting to be that guy. So I think that you'd be lying if you said you didn't want it.
Is it that hard to shift your days? Kind of bringing up the whole Yankees conversation that AJ was just talking about. Would it be that hard? Like right now, if you were to say, okay, you're slotted to pitch day 2 of the season, to be able to fix yourself to be able to go day 1?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some off days in there where I think they can switch some stuff around. And I know, Shane Smith and I threw today the same day. So, there's going to have to be some switching around just to get guys in the right spot. But, again, that's not my job. So I'm just here to throw.
You just do what they tell you?
I'm just going out there.
If that call does come and Ethan calls you in the office and we'll call you in, what's the feeling going to be like? Opening day, Anaheim, in Chicago. First hitter will be maybe Tim Anderson.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it'll be rewarding for sure. I mean, after, coming back from TJ, kind of putting myself back together after 2023 season and most of 24, I think it'd be a lot of hard work kind of paying off. But like I said, it's one thing to be named the opening day starter, but you still got to go out there for 33 and show every time why you are the opening day starter. So,
Davis, question for you. I remember hearing some lines from you last year about going through what was a difficult season for the team. Obviously, for you were able to show some really impressive things on the mound. Can you describe for our fans how you were approaching things sometimes with, I mean, you'll describe it better than I can maybe, but some humor when something didn't go your way, or there was a sick, game-saving catch that robbed you guys of a win, stuff like that?
Yeah, no, I got Gavin Sheets destroyed me after that one. He's like, "Oh, haha, this is very funny," and I was like, "Damn it!" But no, I mean, it's just like you like watching baseball. There's things that happen that you're just like, "Holy hell!" Like this literally can't get any worse. Like I think the robbing of the home run, Janikowski.
He's not your teammate.
Yeah,
by the way.
I looked at Vaughn.
Is Vaughn wearing him out?
I was like, Vaughn, this is the guy. This is the guy that did it to us. And like. I will forever remember it. Janikowski's whole torso is in our left field bullpen, and I look at Crochet, and I was just like, "What is going on?" And he just starts laughing at me, and I'm just like, "I don't get it. I truly don't get it." So yeah, I mean, there were so many times last year that you're just like, you can say like curse, bad luck, whatever it is, but like at one point you just got to get over it, and you just laugh about it because it is truly like. This couldn't stack up against us so much. Like it was awful.
It'll be better this year, I promise. I'm telling you right now, it will not be as bad as it was last year.
Yeah.
All right, what are you working on this spring? Do you have a new pitch? Because everyone's got the kick change and the knuckle slider.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't have the kick change back then, did you?
Isn't that just a changeup?
No, man.
The sweeper, which
yeah.
was a slider. And we're like, oh, Jeff Nelson throws a slider. It just goes a little more horizontal.
Just go left and right.
Yeah, it goes a little more this way instead of this way.
Yeah, no, I mean, so yeah, I had the kick change last year.
So what we don't have a ball, but what's the difference?
So basically, it's a cheat for guys who that supinate really well.
So they go this way.
Yeah, so like I'm really good at spinning the ball. Like I can spin the ball, I can throw a slider, I can throw a cutter, I can throw all that stuff. And after TJ, like I was here pre-TJ, and now I'm like here. So like I'm a little more on the side of the ball. So the four seam that used to be.
By the way, your hands are dirty. What'd you put on the ball today?
Hey, don't worry about it, man. It's a sunscreen. It's hot out here. Got Phoenix. My wife would kill me.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. It's like, so it's basically a way for pronators or supinators, excuse me, to cheat to get to that 3 o'clock axis, like a Devin Williams. Like a Devin Williams can come inside the ball and throw it, and it comes out like a saucer, right? So like the kick change, you come through it, and that middle finger will basically kick the axis from like 12:30, whatever it may be, spinning like this, and it'll kick it to about a 2:45, 3 o'clock, and that gives the downward shoot.
So how do you get that?
So I literally it's a 2-seam grip. So like if the 2 seams were here, you literally just climb with your knuckle high like this, and you just throw the shit out of it.
Really?
And it just poof.
And it just goes.
Yeah, and I think last year we had some issues with it sometimes where it kind of run away, and so me and Kat started calling it the power knuckle split because I needed to think of it like a splitter. Because if I thought of it like a changeup, it sucked. It was just straight across. Lefties would get their barrel on it. If you think straight down, that's where we were getting swings and misses.
All right, who's a better catcher, Erik Kratz, who's on us, or Drew Butera, who's walking by? Who? And by the way, Butera took Kratz's job one year. Did you not? 15.
Yeah.
He did.
Plantar fasciitis.
Oh yeah, you had plantar fasciitis, Kratz. Sorry. So Drew walked by and was like, "Oh, hey guys, I took Kratz's job. I sent him to the bushes one time."
I'm trying to think if I went right to the bushes.
Oh, he said he'll take your job again if you want to get back into coaching.
With that face, he is definitely. He should be on this show. He is definitely the handsome of the two of us.
Yeah, he's got a good beard going on right now.
He does. Orlando guy too, by the way, so we're definitely in.
Yep. But fortunately, he's the one catcher that I could hit better than. So that's my only claim to fame over Drew. Tell him when he walks by again.
He actually is so big time. He got a ride to the field. The field is like 10 feet from here too,
and downhill.
He's lazy.
All right, wait. So we've interrupted you.
Yeah, no worries.
How do you sit there and you go to TrackMan or you go to whatever you guys use, Repsodo, and you throw one and then you do the slow motion cameras and they show you and then you're like, okay, I'm going to adjust my grip just a little bit.
So when I first threw it, I needed to see like what I was doing. Like, because they basically were just like, hey, grip it like Banny was like, grip it like this, blow the shit out of it. And it just go, boop. And I was like, oh. But then like we started getting it a little flatter. We started having some issues. And I was like, I need to see what we're doing. And then once I saw it, I was like, I don't want to look at it again because I don't even know how that works. So then it just turned into like throw splitter.
Okay.
And it just works. Went for the simple mindset.
I like it. Texas Tech education, guys.
Wreck 'em, baby. And I got my degree.
This one?
3 points, yeah. That gun's up.
There you go.
3.25. Business management degree.
Oh, I was like, your ERA?
Wow.
No. That would be nice.
Right? Hell yeah, that'd be nice.
Ask AJ where he went to college.
Where did you go to college?
Princeton of the South, Dr. Phillips, high school.
High school.
He took courses online, Instagram, Twitter, little TikTok. Yeah,
I went to the College of the Minor Leagues, guys.
Yeah,
it's a different experience. I wasn't in a fraternity like Kratz and Scott were, with their music going, and Scott gets the fist going. He gets the flick. Scott's big with the flick. You know the flick where the frat
Just
guys
head
get
bob,
the flick.
flicks.
Yep.
yeah. Now they call it the kick change. Anyway, Davis, thanks. I'll be here all day. Davis, what is it like hanging out with the guys? So, this is a young team. It's got a few vets that just recently signed on. Is there team bonding going on, dinners, anything special over these first few weeks that you saw maybe this year compared to last year too, that you didn't have?
Yeah, no, I think we had our first off day, and the sign-up sheet showed up, and it was a golf scramble tournament, and everybody kind of looked around like, oh hell yeah, this is going to be sweet. So our first off day, we had 28 guys, coaching staff, some staff on go out there and have a full-on tournament, just the works. Like,
who won?
Honestly, it was our AAA manager Sergio, Freddie the clubby.
Dude, Sergio was a position player. I was here I was actually on these fields when they transitioned him to a pitcher. Right back there. I remember he was a third baseman.
We're not gonna ambush Davis's interview here because I have the ultimate Sergio story, but we're not gonna ambush it because I saw when he transitioned to pitching. Anyway, continue in your golf outing story because that sounds way more awesome than any of the fiddlesticks games that Pedro was putting you guys through last year.
Yeah, so we had a lot of fun. There was a lot of shit talking, and then it actually ended up being a tie at the end of 18 holes, and so then they had to go out on field 1 at 8 a.m. and do a flop shot at 100 yards, every other shot, alternating shots, and you could just tell like the competition, everybody's having fun, but like it was a good team bonding experience instead of just hey, let's all go sit at a dinner table and talk about what we did that day when we're like, yeah, I was right next to you doing PFPs all day long. There wasn't really much to it. So I think we have a good group of core guys that are younger. I know the pitching staff has been really good with each other. Martin came in and filled that veteran leadership role really well with all the young starters. And, we're learning him, he's learning us. And so far it's been great. So yeah, definitely feels a lot different than last year.
Who had Tom Baffia on their team?
Dude, Baffia couldn't barely walk. It was his 40th birthday.
I saw him on the Instagram of him making a flop shot. Baffia is one of the clubhouse guys. And and I told him when I saw him, like, dude, don't ever put yourself on TV playing golf again or on the internet.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Well, apparently, funny story, they tied. Baffia was the team that tied, and they think he was in charge of counting score, and he thinks
he's Polish,
and he thinks he counted wrong. They should have been 11 under instead of 10 under. And all of us were like, why did you let the guy that turned 40 years old have the time of his life out there be in charge of scorekeeping? That seems like your own fault. So,
yes.
And so that team ended up losing the shot for shot. So yeah, no, there's a big asterisk on it. I think we're already gearing up for year 2 next year. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Okay, and for the people that Baffia is one of the clubhouse guys. He's Polish like me, so we always go back and forth about Polish people. So I'm allowed to say that before anybody gets all freaked out on the internet. Okay?
Put a big asterisk on it.
Yes, hey, Polish can't count. He can't count.
Yeah.
All right, what I want to know before we let you go, what does Davis Martin do when he's not thinking about kick changes and pitching and all that? What's your thing that you go to get away from baseball, or when you're at home and you're done at 11:30 on a Thursday in spring training? What are you going to go do?
Yeah, I usually go chase my son around. He's about 1.5 years old, and he learned the word no. That's been awful. It's been literally awful. And so yeah, no, that is my job. And my wife is we go home and just have fun with him. He throws, he runs, he's having the time of his life. So just getting away from it. And I know last year we actually got out of the city and stayed in one of the suburbs for about a month, and it was one of my best months of last season, just purely because felt like I was in the off season with my family, having a good time, enjoying Chicago suburbs, just getting away from the city. But that's what I do. I'm dad number one.
Awesome. That's the best job in the world,
exactly.
Right there. Best job in the world.
So
hey, Davis, have fun with the kiddo, and you're a great interview, man. Great to have you on here. We'll catch you during the season too, but good luck the rest of the spring. We'll see you during the year.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Davis Martin, with us on Foul Territory, which is coming right back with Andrew Vaughn.
Thank you so much. Uh-huh.
Be on the heater, we got this machine. It's called a Traject, and it's like a automated machine with like a picture, like an automated picture of a pitcher, like anyone you want. And then today I was facing like Michael Kopech. I had him set at like 102. And I was sitting off that.
Why you pick White Sox guy?
I'm gonna beat him up, you know.
He'll just be careful. That dude is mean.
He's with the Dodgers now, so it's okay.
I know, but he's White Sox.
Yeah, but you may have.
Okay.
I mean,
someday you might have to face him because he's in the National
Maybe.
League.
I faced him last year in spring. Paid me.
Well, see?
Yeah, I know.
Payback for taking him deep today.
I don't know about that one. Just line drives. And good jumps. Honestly, just BP. Like getting my reps in BP. That's the most live you're gonna get without being in the game. Really, where like it doesn't matter. So I mean, but big thing for me is 95 plus. Like the best players like dominate 95 plus, and that's what the game is right now.
it is.
So that's what I really want to do is dominate 95 plus. Because like the big thing for the Cubs right now is that 87 to 93 range. It really doesn't like exist anymore unless a guy throws like a 92-mile-an-hour cutter when he throws 97. So really just dominating the 95 plus. I mean, if you look at like Aaron Judge, Freddie Freeman, Juan Soto, they all dominate it. So I'm really trying to like just, I guess, dominate it. Really.
So you have this same conversation with Kyle Tucker when like Kyle Tucker comes over and talks to you. You say, yeah, Kyle, I know you're a World Series champion outfielder with the Houston Astros. Now you're over here. I want to dominate 95 plus. How does that conversation go?
I honestly, I just listen.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a fly on the wall.
Sure.
Listen to what these guys have to say. And really, I mean, one day I heard Justin Turner talking to Kyle Tucker, and he was like, all we got to do is be ready and be on time for what is coming. And that's all you kind of really ask for as a hitter. Because it doesn't matter your mechanics. If you're on time, you're going to hit the ball. Like you look at these guys in the league, and none of them have perfect mechanics, but when they're on time, they become a great hitter. And, you know, I believe the Cubs, you know, have a lot of that this year, and they're ready to, you know, show who they are. Yeah. I was actually just hitting live ABs with Nico a couple days ago, and listening to him talk about what he wants to do this year was, you know, pretty cool. And how a guy who's had success for a good amount of time in the big leagues, you know, how his mind works. So that was cool to listen to him talk too. It's good to get him like one-on-one almost, when you just like kind of let them talk, and like ask them questions what you want to hear, and they'll give it to you the right information.
Did Matt Shaw make the team?
He's in Japan.
Yeah, but they take like
31
players, so they take.
He's in Japan.
Okay.
Go ask Carter or Jed, right?
Yeah, you call him.
No, I don't got the number. No.
You don't have Jed Hoyer's number?
Maybe.
Yes, you do.
You
100%.
totally have
You
I don't know. Look
Hoyer's
at Twitter, man. He's on the team.
For sure?
Yeah, I think so. He's in
know.
Japan. He's on the plane.
We've got veteran Andrew Vaughn joining us right now. Maybe the oldest 26-year-old in baseball. Andrew, do you feel that way when you've got a team that's obviously just full of youngsters and many that have never even seen the bigs yet?
Yeah, you know, I was talking to Robert. I mean, we do have some veteran guys, but, you know, in our clubhouse, I think it's just me and him left from the 21 team. It's kind of crazy to look back on.
I mean, how you got to buy dinners? You got to do you got to buy the guy the suits in there. I mean,
Hey, we got Benny. We still got Benny.
Oh, I forgot about
We got
Benny. Yeah,
Benny.
but Benny's on the IL right now with a broken hand, so you kind of have ascended to the top. Robert takes care of the Latin guys. You take care of the other guys, right?
I'll talk to Benny. We can split it. We can split it, Bill.
I like it. I like it. What's camp been like so far for you this year? Any different feel? I know you got a new manager. You got some new people in there, new voices in there.
It's been good. So many young guys. Like we've talked about the whole spring, new faces. You know, it's like the first day of school, getting to know everybody, getting to know, you know, the vibes, what we're about, just kind of, you know, making our own identity out of this.
And what is that? What is that identity? What is the White Sox identity for this season?
Yeah, you know, the biggest thing we talked about coming in was, you know, opportunity for everybody. You know, it's going to be competition day one of spring. We're all here grinding. You know, guys are playing for jobs. And I think that makes an atmosphere that's, you know, competitive, and we go out and play good baseball.
You're not grinding for a job, are you? You're not. I mean, you've got a job.
Yeah, but you always got to think about that. You got to go out there and, no matter what, could be our last day in this uniform, play it like it's our last.
What what is your job on this team as with all the young guys and all the trades that were made? Has Will Venable come to you and said, "Hey, I need you to be the leader of these guys"? Because again, you know, Benny obviously is here, but it's kind of you, Benny, and Luis that are the older guys. Has he come to you and said, "Hey, Bonnie, we need you to be this for this guy, this for this guy," or do you just do that naturally?
It's nothing specific. I think it's just, you know, when I came up, we had so many veteran guys on the team and just kind of learned, you know, from Abreu or Lance Lynn or those guys, how they went about their business, like trying to be that guy for the younger guys coming up, just trying to, you know, guide in any way I can. I'm not a huge outspoken guy, but just anything I could do, you know, whether it's off the field, on the field, weight room stuff, you name it, just trying to be a voice of reason.
Was there somebody that you connected with specifically in that veteran group as a rookie, as a dude that was had 2-3 years in the big leagues?
Yeah, I think I loved watching Abreu. Jose did just everything the right way. You know, he grinded. He was the first guy in the weight room every day. Didn't matter how he was feeling. He went out and, you know, he played. He posted.
What was it surprising when he went to Houston and had the struggles that he had after you saw the guy that he was?
Yeah, you know, it honestly hurt me to watch him because I know how much work he puts in, and you know how much he loves this game and how hard he goes every single day. You know, he was my teammate, and obviously I wanted the best of success for him.
What you made an adjustment to your swing last year, and kind of at the end, towards the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
What was the adjustment, and what did it change?
I was really trying to simplify. You know, I was hitting a lot of balls on the ground, rolling over, you know, just missing pitches that I shouldn't. And it was just get in the cage and really focus on not missing those. In the big leagues, you know it.
Yeah.
You might get one pitch in at bat, might not get it. And when you get it, you can't miss that pitch.
Yeah. Okay. So what I think happened is, so last year in spring training, you went to Konerko's house and you worked with him, right? And then you stopped listening to him and you went to Jim Thome, and now you're working with Thome. So if it was me, I would rather listen to Thome than Konerko.
You know, it was so cool yesterday.
And Konerko was here yesterday, right? So did you tell him when you saw him? You're like, Paul, you're out. Jim, you're in.
Well, you should have seen the bench yesterday. It was Jermaine, Jim, and Paul. And I was just sitting there going, how many home runs are sitting on that bench right there? I was like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, yeah. So when Swisher was here, we had Griffey, Jermaine, Jim, Paul, right? And Swisher goes, I want to get a picture with all of us. And at the time, Griffey had like 600 homers or whatever. Jim had got 500. Jermaine and Paul both had 300. And he's like, and me, I have 100.
He's adding to the group.
Yes, he was like, I want to add myself to this group of prolific home run hitters.
That's all time.
Oh, that was Swish, though, for you.
Do you think AJ needs to be there with all those elite superstars that are there? Would it kind of like bring it back down to earth a little bit if AJ were in camp?
It'd be nice to see him a little bit more.
Yeah, right.
I'd love to be here, Kratzy, but you know, there's some extenuating circumstances there. We'll use that as the proper term. I'd love to work with these guys.
I'm glad you're there now.
I get my one day here to go walk in and say hi to these guys. I love these guys. I mean, I've known Andrew forever. I mean, I've known all these guys for a long time. So, I mean, I want these guys to do well. Everyone thinks I don't want the White Sox to win, dude. I want y'all to do well. Listen, I wear White Sox gear, and people look at me and like, why are you wearing White Sox? I'm like, dude, I like the White Sox. I want them to win. I don't want them to do crappy.
Vaughn, he wants you guys to win. He doesn't want you guys to win a World Series. He wants to make sure he's still the. I know it's not true, but it's fun. It's fun to make fun of him. Vaughn, hey, what would your career? Do you ever think about what your career would be different if you had gotten drafted by a different team? You were the number 3 or number 2 overall?
Number 3.
Number 3. So there wasn't many teams that had a choice to pick you. But do you ever look at the other 2 teams and go, I wonder how much different development, how much more I would have spent in the minor leagues, how much less I would have spent in the minor leagues, all that stuff?
You know, I really don't. I've never actually thought about that. Just blessed to be able to, you know, play this game. As you guys know, it's special. We get to wake up and play a kid's game for a living, and I wouldn't change anything for the world.
Andrew, what's your best memory in the big league so far? And you could do 2 if you want, one individual and one team oriented.
Okay, I think one of the coolest was I had to learn how to play outfield in spring training. Never really done it. I think it was the first month. Rodon's throwing against Cleveland. And I'm playing left field, and he's got a no-hitter going through 7 innings. And I think it was Jose Ramirez comes up, hitting righty. Guy smashes baseballs and smokes a line drive right at me. I didn't even have to move, and I caught it, and I was like, did I really just do that? And then we get to the end of the game, and I was like, I think I actually threw a no-hitter, and I was playing left field. So I kind of giggled about that. I think that's probably my favorite, honestly. Going to the playoffs, can't beat that. That atmosphere is crazy. 40-something thousand people, loudest place I've ever heard.
In Chicago?
In Chicago.
Okay. I was going to say, because didn't you guys, you were on the 20 team that was in Oakland with no people, right?
I was on the taxi squad. I was in the stands for that.
You're in the stands?
Mm-hmm.
Did they charge you for a ticket?
We were the only people in the stands.
Oh, you were sitting next to, they had a big teddy bear down left field. You go and sit by the teddy bear down the left field line.
They kept us in the section on the right field line. We were stuck.
So wait, well, Kratzy was on that. That was Kratzy's last year, but I've never heard this story. So were you guys cheering for your team, or were you just all told, like, just sit here and don't make a noise?
I mean, we were cheering for the boys, of course. We were all together, most of the year. A lot of guys up and down through Schaumburg, and, it was pretty exciting, even though there was literally nobody there.
So, like, when who got was it Eloy someone hit a big homer somewhere in that?
When Louis hit one 600 feet.
Did you guys stand up and were like, yeah?
I think we were all in shock because it literally hit above the suites in left center field.
That's the
farthest ball I've ever seen hit.
Yeah, the fans, whenever the fans, because the games that we played, we didn't even have the alt site guys, the taxi squad guys in the stands. They were back at the hotel, but like there was a family section that was in the bubble, and then there's another family section on the complete opposite end of the stadium. And so if the Guardians would score, then you would hear that little section of the stadium. If the Yankees would score, you'd hear that little family section. So I lived that with you. But let's go back to 2019 when you and I were teammates in Japan. Mm-hmm. You were fresh. I mean, you were fresh. I was telling you off screen before we started, you bought a puppy the year that we started playing, and you're talking about being a vet now. This puppy was like unbelievable. But I'm like, you are so young to be having a puppy. Did you feel like you had to mature early in the situation where you were? You were plopped right into a playoff team right away, just 2 or 3 years after getting drafted?
Yeah, definitely. I think through college, kind of understanding, how everything in the world works, kind of figuring out I was going to get drafted. I just kind of knew I just had to flip a switch. This is go time. I want this to be my job. Like, I just got to be a pro about it. And the pup's doing good. That's so funny to think about. I think 5.5 years ago.
Yep.
Still looks the same. She's still a little teddy bear, old Ginger.
I got a random one for you, but I thought about it.
Oh, goodness.
Really? Hold on. Bo's walking by. I asked Bo to come on, Bo Jackson. He said, give him $20 million. That's his discount.
We can do it.
I need him to sign my card.
Is that pesos or yen? What is that? You never know. You're going to see a White Sox camp, by the way.
Love that. We got the whole cast here today. Well, on that front, super random. I forgot about this name until, I don't know if it was AJ or somebody brought it up the other day, and it was a teammate of yours several years ago, and it just had me thinking about how quickly things can change. Do you remember your mean Mercedes hype train and how, good he was for a quick period of time, and obviously, isn't playing in the bigs anymore. But do you think of moments like that, and does that help to, make you appreciate how quickly things can change? Because, we were talking about his baseball card being like 100x value and then going all the way back to 0, like in a matter of, 2 months.
Yeah, that run he had was crazy. Guys couldn't get him out. But that just goes to show the game of baseball. Anything can happen on any given day. Granted, it is tough to get in the box and hit, but if you got the skills, sometimes you can just take off and run with it, but this game will humble you so fast. You can't take a single day for granted.
Did he go wrong I mean, you were there for it when he swung 3-0 and then he got annihilated by the manager. And that's kind of, from that moment, he just went like, did that just rip his confidence out?
I don't know, but that was.
And he hit a bomb too. It wasn't like he popped it up.
I mean, 40 mile an hour pitch and he hit it like 500 feet.
Yeah.
That ball was crushed.
I mean, it was like, because he was on top. I mean, he had the change and he had the whole thing going, and then all of a sudden that happened, and then he was called out, and then he just went gone.
Yeah. This game.
Wow.
This game.
It was crazy. What about Corey Lee? Corey Lee is your college teammate. Did you tell the White Sox to trade for him?
I did not. I didn't even know it was going to happen. We were actually roommates in college too.
Oh, are you roommates now?
No. I won't live with him.
Does he take the dog out for you?
No, he's got his own dog. I got my own dog. That's too much. It was crazy. I got a phone call. He calls me, and we hadn't talked in probably a couple months. The season was going on, and he's like, "Hey, I'll see you tomorrow." I said, "What?" He said, "I just got traded to you guys," and I was like, "You got to be kidding me. That's kind of cool." So that year he actually did live with me for the month, so he didn't have to find a place to stay. But I thought that was pretty sweet.
Who's somebody in camp that we should watch that we don't know, or that you're like, is going to have a big bounce back year?
Man. Vargas has been swinging it. Looks really good at the plate right now. Excited to see what he does.
He made some changes, right? Did he change his stance or something?
Changed his stance a little bit. It looked like, put on some weight, got some pop. BP's been impressive. In game it's translating, so it's always good signs.
Andrew, which teammate do you miss the most that you've played with over the course of your career?
Ooh, miss the most. I can't say one specific guy. That's tough. As a young guy coming up, had so many, veterans, like I said, Lance, Abreu, AJ Pollock, just guys that, Adam Engel, just guys that were there in our corner, just, trying to pump us up as young guys, because it's tough coming this game as a rookie. You know that.
Yeah.
And just having guys in your corner that, show you the ropes is, especially, it brings you up, and then, now I'm in the position. Yeah, it's earlier in my career than usual to be one of the older guys, but just having that knowledge and knowing how to go about it inside the clubhouse.
Andrew, thanks for the time, man. Enjoy the rest of spring. We'll catch you during the year.
We're making the playoffs this year? We making the playoffs this year?
We're going to go one day at a time.
All right.
Opening day starts.
All right. Listen, it'll be better than it was last year. I promise that.
If we go one day at a time, I think so.
All right.
Yep. There you go. Be right back, FT. It's March 13th, and we finally have the last team to sign a major leaguer this offseason. It's not really the offseason anymore, but the St. Louis Cardinals sign up Phil Maton, who finished really strong last year in the regular season. Obviously had some playoff moments too, good and bad. 1 year, $2 million contract. 71 appearances last year for the Rays and the Mets, including a 1.99 ERA in his final 42 regular season appearances. Should be part of a higher leverage, mid to high leverage role with the Cardinals. And it's a team that didn't do anything this offseason because they were just sitting, waiting for a team to bite on Arenado. They got one team to do it. He said, nah, I'm good. And they're in a weird mode, but at least they added someone who should be helpful. And I think you can book it. He'll be traded in July and they'll get a prospect out of it.
This screams, well, they told us to. Not that Phil Maton shouldn't be a big leaguer and get a big league contract. To me, he's a soft thrower that gets extremely soft contact. So why he was sitting out here this long, I have no idea. The way he turned his season around after, I think, the end of the previous season, 23, he had a little hiccup, but don't quote me on that. Now I'm second guessing it. But either way, like it almost feels like the Cardinals were told, you got to sign somebody. Like, this looks bad. The Marlins even got somebody.
And Katie Wu, who hosts Cardinal Territory, will go over this, I'm sure, with an episode at some point this week. She was tweeting about it because I guess some fans are like, let the young kids pitch. I'm like, one Phil Maton signing is not going to hurt anyone. Okay. One veteran in the bullpen, and Ali Marmol was asked about it, actually had a good answer where he was like, hey, some dudes aren't ready. So we are going to put our development in a bad position if we don't fill a spot or two here with veteran arms, like a minor league contract guy and like a major league deal, which is what we see here with Phil Maton. So I'm like, hold up. We want a youth movement, but an arm or two is okay.
Yes, you need to complete the innings. You do not need to rush pitchers. You need to give position players some leash. Give them at bats. Giving pitchers leash and throwing them out there is only going to get them hurt because they're going to try to do something that they're not capable or able to do yet.
Bingo. All right, we're coming back with our last White Sox guest, Martin Perez, getting settled with AJ right now on the set. Last 10 minutes of the show, we saved the best for last. Martin Perez joining us, new Chicago White Sox pitcher. Martin, great to have you. Hey, you're a veteran. You've bounced around the league a bit. What's it like to be with this team compared to some prior spots?
I'm happy to be here, man. I know, a lot of things happened last year, but this is a new year, and I think we're just getting ready for the season and doing a better job than last year.
By the way, I just got to say this. We played together in 2013. Now, it's just funny when you see a guy, and he's the veteran guy. He's 10-plus years in the league now. He's got gray hair and the beard. I mean, I remember this guy couldn't even grow a beard.
Yeah.
And you're out there chucking for us.
Yeah, I mean, long time ago, man. But I'm just 33 years old. I'm not that old.
You came up at like, what, 20?
21.
21?
Yeah.
And I always tell people I caught your debut, but it wasn't your debut. It just felt like your debut because you were so much younger than me.
Yeah. I mean, I remember those days. You helped me a lot, and you told me a lot of things and how to do, how to pitch, how we need to set up, hitters for any pitches. And I think was a great opportunity for me to play with you and a lot of veteran guys on.
I mean, you had Beltre, Andrews,
Andrew,
Ian Kinsler, Holland.
Yes, a lot of guys.
You had a lot of guys around. Pudge would come around a lot too.
Yes.
So I hope you listen to Pudge and not me.
A lot. You have to.
That's good. Martin, so then tell me now what you see in this camp and how you can be the Pierzynski of White Sox camp.
We have a lot of talent, man. I think, like I say, we're going to have, the field that I have, the feelings that I have is going to be a good year, man. I mean, we also are getting ready for the season. We're building our arms to, have trying to go deep in the game. And, I've been talking a lot with the pitchers, the starter pitchers, and, we have to have goals during the season. I mean, we got to go out there every time and go more than 5 or 6 innings to give you a chance to the bullpen to rest. I think that is one of the biggest keys in big league. But everybody's getting ready, and we're doing a good job, and I think everybody's in the same page.
Is that any more exhausting to kind of take on a leadership role? Like, you still got to get ready to pitch. You still got to go out every 5 days, earn your spot, keep your spot, elevate your value. You're only 32. Shoot, dudes are signing 6-year deals at 32 years old. Like, you're not ancient like AJ talks to you about.
No, I just when I signed here, the first thing that I just have in mind is trying to help my pitchers to be in a good position to go out there and compete. Because, like I say, we have a lot of responsibility this year in Chicago. Because I know the fans, they're big waiting for a good season, and I think this is going to be a great season for us. We have new manager. And I played with him. He was on my bench coach two times, and I think the way that he's communicate with us is really good. And when you have that kind of things as a manager, sense then we're gonna be good, and we're gonna do a special thing for this team. I think it's time for Chicago to turn the page and start a new history.
What do you hear in the offseason? Because the last few off seasons, the Pirates and the White Sox are the teams behind you. And then you get traded to good teams. What do you hear from the teams? Like, to me, I think you are a valuable piece to a winning team. And I'm not saying the teams you're on aren't winning. I'm saying that why are teams not calling you and being like, Martin Perez, easy lock as our number 3 right now?
I don't know what I was looking for. The only thing that I know is just still can get people out, and I know with all the kind of stuff and with the velocity and stuff, and they maybe don't need my my job, but I was positive my off season. I was in Venezuela doing all my stuff, and when I got a phone call from this organization, I told my agent I want to be there because I want to be part of something good, and I think we just like I said, we're just getting ready for do good job, and we're in a good position to go out there and do good things for this team, and I trust my teammates, I trust my coaches, and I think it's going to be a good year for us.
By the way, you were never a velocity guy. You're always a cutter,
Yeah.
changeup guy.
Yeah,
So
I
your
don't know what
velocity
they're
hasn't.
looking for.
Your velocity is still the same as when you were
Yes.
21, 22.
Yes.
So you're never a velocity. Don't change. Just keep doing what you're doing. Soft contact, cutters in, changeups away. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You said some things not long ago about the White Sox team, like we're going to be better than people think. Is it because of the prospects you've seen? Is it because of the team you have? And what gives you that confidence in Will and Chris Getz and the rest of the organization?
I think it's because the way that I see how everybody's been prepared. Everybody got here early, doing their stuff. We're going outside. We do all the job that we have to do. We do all the little things, and I think when you're doing that, and you have a good feeling with your teammates, and they feel good when they talking to you, when they uh, look good around you, it means says then everything good, something good's gonna happen. And how they finished last year was amazing. I think that is a good. They put the team in a good position at the end of the season, and that was one of the reasons that I signed here.
All right, you said you went back and trained in Venezuela all off season. Not everybody does that. Can you hit on what makes your decision to go back there, and
Process in the big league.
does Major League Baseball need to do better for Latin players? Dominican, Venezuelan, everything.
I think so because it's not way that you sign a guy with 13 years old and you give them 4 millions. I mean, because as soon they got here, they think they're gonna be in the big league quick, and it's not that way, and that's why I always speak with my friends over there in Venezuela. Then we gotta do the things right because they just kids, man, and we have to be careful because we do something wrong, and at some point you gotta pay for that because like I said, they just kid, and just I think big Major League Baseball, they gotta do a better job in Latin America because what they doing now is not acceptable for me, and that's why you guys seeing a lot of release because they don't have the age to be part of a professional baseball team, and that's one thing they will have to stop.
There's enough money in Venezuela. You guys have made a lot of money.
Yeah, but
I mean,
that's
Cabrera,
what that-
Miggy.
I know,
mean,
but it
Altuve.
was different time,
Yeah.
20 years ago was not the same like right
Yeah.
now. Is they making like kind of business, and they just wanna, like, agents over there just wanna make money, and they don't care about the kids. It's not that way, man. I mean, I think when you sign a guy with a professional team, they need more help when they start playing a professional baseball than when they not sign ready. Like if you're in the process, you just need a help from your group, like from your academy. But as soon as you sign, it's a different process because first of all the language is hard for us,
Mhm.
and then sometimes you don't understand and you don't do what the coach is telling to you. And I'm teaching the guys. I have a English teacher too, to trying to teach them English too, and trying to be prepared a little bit more, and at some point they're gonna have a chance to play in the big league.
Martin, we really appreciate the time. That conversation we'd love to
That
get
needs to
into
be
more
heard.
too.
That needs to be heard
does
by
need to
everybody.
be heard. I'm with you. TV crowd, FT fam, thanks for watching. Everybody, thanks for watching. White Sox, thank you for helping out. Obviously, PR, everyone behind the scenes.
Kratz didn't wear a White Sox hat today on Kratz hats. What the F, Kratz? You have them all, and you didn't wear a White Sox hat.
Show us. We got 10 seconds left. 10 seconds in show.
Can't show it.
Wow.
Good.
All right, we're just going to take over Kratz and me and let them get all set up out there for Dodgers territory. Looks like it's getting a little stormy out of Camelback Ranch. Yeah.
It didn't rain. It didn't rain when we were at the Dodgers side of camp. I'm just saying, just make sure we realize it was like sunny, birds were out. We go to White Sox camp and it's like can't get anything done. They're getting all their work in. White Sox side, cloudy, rainy, windy, no birds, not one bird the whole day.
No, kind of wild.
And I wore a minor league hat because I couldn't find my White Sox hat.
Well, you can show it now. What did you wear? Or you don't want to show it?
No,
is it one of those new ones where they
looks
made
like
some
the White
mistakes?
Sox.
Yeah, it does. The
Barons? Oh, the new ones with the mistakes on it. Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. People just because of the words that it spells.
Yeah, that one's an issue. It was covered in depth on Fair Territory today, so if you want to check it out, there were some mistakes. And so the main point I want to make is just that I don't understand sometimes how things get approved. You know how something would get past so many people and then be produced and then get noticed.
It's not like on our show where like AJ or I look at a tweet and go, "Oh, what? Somebody sold the Rays?" Oh, wait, no, nobody sold like that. That didn't happen. It was a fake tweet. Sorry. Like, you don't just like fake make a hat and be like, "Oh, whoops. We put ass on a hat." Come on.
Officially licensed. Doesn't the league have to approve that too? I'm pretty sure. I'm actually positive they do. They do approve anything that's got their stamp on it. So this is multiple checks and balances and a lot of people in trouble for those hats that went viral.
And that's not even the worst one. Everybody needs to go look at the Texas hat. Just look at it and then put it in Google Translate.
Yeah. I mean, apparently they're selling online for a ton of money just as a collector's item or whatever, right? Because it's just crazy that something like that would get all the way to production and sale online. Anyway, this was fun. This was exactly what I expected it to be. Thanks to the White Sox for giving us all the players that we had combos with. Tomorrow, A's camp will wrap up the Arizona trip. Tonight, please, 7 o'clock Eastern, FT fam. There it is, Clutch House. Confirmed guests, Luis Severino, Ask Kate, who's been on our show before, Eric Zabrowski, and Jeffrey Yan. New addition to the guest list. Yes, with the splits, the celebratory Jeffrey Yan of the Rockies. All right, we'll see you tonight, 7 o'clock. I'll be in the chat.